Most men believe attraction is easy to recognize. They think if a woman likes them, it will be obvious. Maybe she will flirt openly. Maybe she will give compliments. Or maybe she will clearly show interest, but real life does not always work that way. Attraction is often much more subtle than people expect. A woman can feel strongly attracted to someone while still trying to hide it. Sometimes she hides it because she wants to appear calm and confident. Sometimes she hides it because she is unsure about the situation. And sometimes she hides it without even realizing she is doing it. This is where many men become confused. They assume that if the signals are not obvious, then there must be no attraction. But often the signals are there. They are simply quiet and easy to miss. Human emotions are complex. People often communicate their feelings through behavior rather than words. Small changes in tone, small gestures, small moments of attention. When someone begins to feel interested in another person, their behavior often changes in subtle ways. They might pay closer attention. They might remember small details. They might behave slightly differently around that person. These signals may seem unimportant at first, but when they appear repeatedly, they begin to form a pattern, and that pattern can reveal emotions that have never been spoken out loud. Understanding these signals is not about trying to guess someone's feelings or force a connection. Healthy relationships are built on respect, honesty, and genuine emotional compatibility. The purpose of understanding attraction signals is awareness, because awareness helps you understand people better. And when you understand people better, social situations become much easier to navigate. You begin to notice when someone feels comfortable around you. You begin to notice when someone enjoys your presence. And sometimes you begin to realize that someone feels quietly attracted to you. Many people imagine attraction as something dramatic, something obvious, something that happens instantly. But in reality, attraction often grows slowly. It begins with curiosity, then attention, then small emotional reactions that appear during conversation. These reactions may be quiet, but they are meaningful. When you learn to recognize these patterns, something interesting happens. You start understanding interactions in a completely different way. Situations that once felt confusing suddenly make sense. You begin to see the difference between politeness and genuine interest. You begin to notice when someone is emotionally engaged in a conversation. And sometimes you begin to recognize attraction long before it is ever expressed directly. In this video, we will explore 7 signs that may reveal when a woman is secretly attracted to you. These signs are based on common patterns in human behavior and social psychology. Some of them are extremely subtle, others become clearer over time. But when several of these signals appear together, they can reveal something important. They may reveal that someone sees you in a different way than you originally thought. Attraction rarely announces itself loudly. Most of the time it appears quietly, through attention, through curiosity, through subtle emotional reactions, and often the quietest signals reveal the strongest emotions. So let's begin with the first sign. The first sign that a woman may be secretly attracted to you is surprisingly simple. She finds reasons to talk to you. At first, these conversations may seem completely ordinary. So maybe she asks a simple question, maybe she comments on something small, or maybe she starts a conversation that does not really require a response. On the surface, these interactions may appear random. But when someone feels emotionally drawn to another person, their mind naturally begins looking for opportunities to interact with them. This is not always a conscious decision. Often it happens automatically. Human beings naturally want to communicate with people they enjoy being around, and when attraction begins to develop, communication often becomes more frequent. For example, she might ask about something you mentioned earlier. She might bring up a topic that connects to your interests, or she might simply continue conversations longer than necessary. The important detail here is consistency. One conversation means very little, but repeated conversations without a clear reason can reveal genuine interest. People invest their time and attention in the things that matter to them. So when someone repeatedly chooses to interact with you, that attention often carries meaning. Another detail to notice is the tone of the conversation. When someone enjoys talking to you, the interaction usually feels relaxed and natural. There may be laughter, there may be curiosity, and the conversation may flow easily without awkward silence. Sometimes you may even notice that she continues the conversation even after the original topic has ended. This often happens because she simply enjoys the interaction itself. Attraction often begins this way, not through dramatic gestures, but through small moments of connection that repeat over time. And those small moments slowly build familiarity, comfort, and emotional curiosity. The second sign appears through body language. Body language is one of the most powerful ways people communicate emotions. And in many cases, it reveals feelings that words try to hide. When a woman feels attracted to someone, her body language often becomes more open and expressive around that person. These changes are usually subtle, and very often they happen subconsciously. One common signal is eye contact. When people are interested in someone, they tend to look at them more often. Sometimes this appears as longer eye contact during conversation. Other times it appears as quick glances when the other person is not looking. Eye contact is a powerful form of social connection. It communicates attention, it communicates curiosity, and it communicates emotional awareness. Another signal can appear in posture. When someone feels comfortable and engaged, they may lean slightly toward the person they are speaking with. This small movement signals interest and engagement. You may also notice small gestures like adjusting hair, straightening clothing, or changing posture. These actions often appear when someone becomes more aware of how they look in front of someone they like. Another interesting behavior is called mirroring. Mirroring happens when someone unconsciously copies another person's movements. If you lean forward, they lean forward. If you smile, they smile. If you gesture while speaking, they may begin using similar gestures. This happens because the human brain naturally mirrors people it feels comfortable with. It is a subconscious way of building connection. Of course, one gesture alone does not prove attraction, but when several of these body language signals appear together, they can reveal emotional interest. Body language often speaks louder than words. And once you begin noticing these patterns, it becomes easier to understand how someone truly feels. The third sign of hidden attraction is attention to detail. More specifically, remembering the small things about you. When someone is emotionally curious about you, they begin to notice the details of your conversations, small stories you share, small preferences you mention, small pieces of information about your life. For example, you might casually mention your favorite movie or something about your work or a hobby you enjoy in your free time. Days later, she brings it up again. Maybe she asks about it. Maybe she connects it to another conversation. Or maybe she simply remembers it when others would have forgotten. This kind of memory usually reflects genuine interest because when someone is attracted to you, their brain naturally prioritizes information about you. Attraction increases emotional attention. And emotional attention strengthens memory. That means when you speak, she listens more carefully. And when she listens carefully, the information becomes meaningful to her. So if someone remembers small details about you that others usually forget, it may reveal something deeper. It may show that your words hold significance for them. Attention is one of the quiet foundations of attraction because attraction is not only about appearance, it is also about curiosity. Curiosity about someone's personality, experiences, and thoughts. And curiosity is often the beginning of emotional connection. The fourth sign of hidden attraction often appears through something very simple, laughter. When people enjoy someone's presence, they naturally respond more positively during conversations. And laughter is one of the clearest emotional responses. You may notice that she laughs easily when you speak. Even small jokes or casual comments may seem funnier to her. This does not mean every laugh signals attraction, but when someone consistently reacts with warmth and humor around you, it often reflects emotional comfort. Comfort is a very important part of attraction because people are naturally drawn toward individuals who make them feel relaxed and happy. Laughter is also a way of building connection. It reduces tension, it creates shared moments, and it makes interactions feel more natural. Another detail to notice is the type of laughter. Sometimes it is genuine amusement, other times it may be playful teasing or light humor during conversation. When someone feels comfortable enough to joke with you, it often means they enjoy the emotional atmosphere around you. People rarely laugh freely around individuals they feel uncomfortable with, so if conversations with her frequently include smiles, laughter, and relaxed energy, it may suggest that she enjoys spending time with you, and enjoyment is often one of the earliest signs of attraction. The fifth sign appears through curiosity. When a woman begins asking deeper questions about your life, it may reveal growing interest. At first, the questions may be simple. She might ask about your hobbies, your work, or how you spend your free time, but as curiosity grows, the questions may become more personal. She might ask about your goals, your experiences, or your opinions on different topics. Curiosity is one of the strongest indicators of emotional interest, because when someone feels drawn to another person, they naturally want to understand them better. They want to know what that person enjoys, what motivates them, what kind of life they live. This curiosity goes beyond surface level conversation. It becomes a genuine interest in the person behind the conversation. Another interesting detail is how she listens to your answers. If she asks follow-up questions or continues the topic later, it shows that she is paying close attention. People rarely invest that level of attention in someone they are not interested in. Curiosity often reflects emotional investment. And emotional investment is an important foundation of attraction because attraction is not only about appearance, it is also about connection. And connection grows when people begin to understand each other on a deeper level. The sixth sign appears when your absence becomes noticeable. Imagine a situation where you normally see each other in the same environment, perhaps at work, perhaps at school, or perhaps within the same social circle. One day you are not there. And later she asks where you were at first. This question may seem casual, but it often reveals something deeper. When someone becomes emotionally aware of you, your presence becomes part of their expectations. They begin to notice when you are there, and they also notice when you are not. This awareness happens naturally when someone starts paying closer attention to you. Your presence becomes familiar, your absence becomes noticeable. Sometimes she may ask directly where you were. Other times she may simply mention that she expected to see you. These small observations may seem insignificant, but they often show that you have become part of her mental awareness. People usually notice the absence of someone they care about or enjoy being around, and sometimes attraction reveals itself through this quiet awareness. Because when someone begins to matter emotionally, their presence starts to feel important. The seventh sign of hidden attraction can sometimes appear through nervous energy. Attraction does not always make people confident. Sometimes it does the opposite. It makes them slightly more aware of themselves. When a woman feels attracted to someone, she may suddenly become more conscious of how she speaks, how she behaves, or how she appears. You might notice small changes in her behavior. She may laugh more frequently. She may speak a little faster, or she may pause more often while choosing her words. These reactions are usually subtle, and they are rarely intentional. They happen because attraction increases emotional awareness. When someone cares about how they appear in front of you, their mind becomes more alert. Sometimes this awareness creates small moments of nervous energy. For example, she might adjust her hair more often. She might glance away and then look back again. Or she might smile slightly more than usual. None of these behaviors alone prove attraction, but when they appear together with other signs, they can reveal something important. They can reveal that your presence affects her emotionally, and emotional impact is one of the strongest signals of attraction, because when someone begins to matter emotionally, their presence naturally changes how we behave. Sometimes attraction does not appear through bold confidence. Sometimes it appears through quiet nervous energy. Now that we have explored these 7 signs, it is important to understand something deeper. Attraction is rarely created by one single moment. Instead, it develops gradually through repeated emotional experiences. People begin to feel drawn toward individuals who make them feel comfortable, people who make them laugh, people who listen, and people who create a sense of emotional connection. This is why attraction often grows through everyday interactions, small conversations, shared moments of humor, simple gestures of attention. Over time, these moments build familiarity. Familiarity builds comfort, and comfort allows emotional interest to grow. Psychologists sometimes describe this as emotional association. When someone repeatedly experiences positive emotions around a particular person, their mind begins to associate that person with those feelings. In simple terms, they start to feel good when they are around you, and naturally they begin wanting more of that experience. This is why attraction often appears through patterns rather than single events. No single smile proves attraction, no single conversation interest, but when multiple positive signals appear over time, they begin forming a clear pattern. And patterns often reveal emotions that words never express directly. Understanding this principle helps you interpret social interactions more clearly. Instead of focusing on one isolated signal, you begin observing the overall pattern of behavior, and that pattern often tells a much more accurate story. Imagine 2 people who meet in a casual environment. Perhaps they work in the same place. Perhaps they share the same social group. At first, their conversations are simple and ordinary. They talk about daily tasks. They exchange polite greetings. Nothing seems unusual, but over time, small changes begin to appear. Conversations last a little longer. Eye contact becomes slightly stronger. There are more smiles, more laughter. One day, one of them remembers something the other mentioned weeks earlier. Another day, they begin asking deeper questions. These moments may appear small, but they slowly build emotional familiarity. And emotional familiarity often leads to attraction. Attraction is rarely sudden. More often, it grows quietly through repeated moments of connection. And many people do not even realize when that transition happens. They simply begin noticing that they enjoy someone's presence more than they expected. That is why subtle signals can be so meaningful, because they often reveal emotions that are still developing. It is important to remember that attraction rarely reveals itself through just one signal. Instead, it appears through patterns, small reactions, small moments of attention. When several of these signs appear together, they can suggest that genuine interest may exist. but attraction should never be forced or assumed. Healthy relationships grow through mutual respect, honest communication, and emotional compatibility. Understanding attraction signals simply helps you become more aware of human behavior. It helps you understand when someone feels comfortable around you, and when someone may feel emotionally curious about you, because often the quietest signals reveal the most meaningful emotions. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing for more insights about psychology, attraction, and human behavior. Understanding people is one of the most valuable skills anyone can develop, because when you learn to recognize subtle emotional signals, social interactions become much easier to understand, and sometimes the smallest behaviors reveal the deepest feelings. Thank you for watching.